So a long time ago, I created these on my channel.
And definitely one of my favorite builds just because of how cool it was. And it was like the first time I realized how much stuff could be done with hard paper. So I thought might as well make a nostalgia build, but like a twist on it. And this is what it is. It's Batman's Wolverine claws. I saw this on the internet. Someone else made it out of full metal. So I thought might as well try to make it out of paper, and this is how it looks.
It's pretty cool. Definitely not
The easiest build I'm done, so if you're new to creating stuff out of hardened paper, I wouldn't recommend this to you, but
that's pretty much it. Let's get right into the build.
So for this build, we'll be starting off with 6 sheets of cardstock, which is 8.5 by 14.5, I believe. It's bigger than normal printer paper. Of course, liquid glue, which will be used to create hardened paper. Craft knife, which we'll use to cut out everything. Sharpie's optional, it's just to decorate or make it look better. Pencils, rulers, tape, an eraser, and super glue. Super glue is also optional, but it just makes the process easier. So first what I'm going to do is we're going to start off with hardened paper, as usual. If you don't know how to make it, there's a link in the description. I will be going over it right now. I'll have a time lapse of it right now, but if you want a more in-depth version on how to make hardened paper, the link will be in the description. You can go click that. And let's get right into creating. So for the hardened paper, all I'll be doing this time is taking these 6 sheets, spreading glue in between them, and putting all 6 sheets on top of each other, which I usually don't do, but that's what I'm going to do this time. So let's get right into that. So here's the hardened sheet, pretty strong so far. A little bit wobbly just because I have to layer it and stuff. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it under some textbooks. Make sure you use something flat to spread all the glue and get all the air bubbles out, just like this. So I'm just going to leave it under some textbooks to dry. And once it's decently dry, I'll check back, and then we'll continue creating the template and anything else we need to do to create these claws. Alright, so as you can see here, I looked up a picture of brass knuckles. That's going to be the base of the claw. And I found a decently good picture here. So like I do usually, I'm just going to put it up a piece of paper over, just like this. I have 2 pieces of tape on top. Again, if you want to, you can print it out, but this is my preference. And all I do is I take a pencil and I trace over it to create my template. I'll need one of these, and then I'll need one Batman symbol that we'll be using for the actual claws. So I'm gonna get right into tracing this. Alright, so I have this template created for the brass knuckles, and next thing we need is the Batman symbol. It's not what we're going to use, I just needed a general idea so that I can edit it later. So I'm going to go ahead and put this sheet back on, and I'll get back to getting this logo on. So as you can see, I cut up both, and I have this line going down the battering, and that's because I'm going to cut it right there so that this part can fit on each of the things. So I'm going to cut out 2 of these and 3 of these. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on the paper, and we'll be good to start cutting. Alright, so as you can see, I have my hardened paper completely dry, and what I did was I put my template on top. I taped it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start cutting it out. Again, when I cut out one of these, I'm going to use it as a stencil for the next one. I'll cut out 2 of those. as you can see, it's been cut out. Pretty clean cut. I'm happy with this one. Only problem is it's a little bit big for my hand, but it's most likely going to be a wall hanger anyways. So obviously it's not going to be used for actual combat. It's a prop. So basically what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to put it onto the hardened paper, and I'll just use a pencil to stencil it, and then I'll cut out another one, and then we can glue those together and then move on to the Batman symbols. So another thing you can do is if you have some like pieces like paper that's sticking out, some loose edges, you can just cut them off with the thing just by rounding it off like that. It works extremely well for me and makes everything a lot cleaner. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and stencil it, and then I'll cut out the next one. I'll be right back. As you can see, I have my two brass knuckles, or paper knuckles, whatever you want to call them, and if I put them on top of each other, they fit perfectly, just like that. So I will glue them together, but for now, I'm going to move on to creating the actual 3 blades, which are the Batman symbols, which are right here on the template. So I'm going to go ahead and start cutting those out, and then we can move on from there. So as you can see, I have this Batarang Batman symbol. So I have this side, and what I did here was I cut off this end, and I cut this little slit, which is 0.4 centimeters, and this is gonna fit right onto the brass knuckles. So I'm gonna make 3 more of these, and then we'll be good. So just to show you, I have the brass knuckles, glued them together, and then I have these. So I'll just slip it on there. Right now it's held together by friction, but again it'll move around. So I'm just gonna need some super glue to hold that in place. But or you can also use some regular glue. But I'm gonna use this as a stencil so I can cut out a few more. I'll be right back. So I have this main blade, and then I have all 3 of the Batarang things right here. Only problem was this one right here. It's slightly too big, but that's okay. I'll just use super glue to put all that together. Right now I'm gonna use some Sharpie to make all these black, and then we can move on to assembly. All of these have been colored black. All I'm going to do now is just going to use the super glue to attach everything. So this is going to go here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some super glue just inside, and then attach it. In a few seconds it should. So as you can see, completely. Everything's super glued in place. I don't want to wave it around too much because it is still drying, but one of my favorite builds. This was the last one I made that was similar to it, but these two are definitely cool. One of my favorite builds. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll be back next time.